Vision is critical for success. I'm sure many of us are aware how eye care and ear care goes hand in hand. As an eye care doctor, did you know you can now screen your patient not just for eye problems, but also for any hearing loss? You can screen your patients, create awareness, and also treat them for mild to moderate hearing losses. Just like giving them readers, there are many solutions in the hearing aid space that can be provided by you to all your patients. A supporter for this episode, Eye and Ear, brings the exact same collaborative program that you are looking for. This solution is specially designed for all eye care professionals to help them not just significantly increase their revenue, but also provide a complete new service to their patients. A new vision in hearing care can begin with you. To avail a 50% discount on an onboarding program, do check out the description below. With that, let's get started. Shirley Sandberg once said, in the future, there'll be no female leaders, just leaders. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nerdy Optometrist, a podcast channel for all things optometry. And this is your host, Ukti Vora. I'm delighted, excited, and overwhelmed to have this amazing guest on the podcast channel. Her name is Dr. Lauretta Justin. She definitely needs no introduction, but a quick way to introduce her is she is the diva. You know, she started and gave the entire industry the term of optometry diva, but she is the real diva of all. To talk about a little more, to do my formal introduction, for those who don't know her, start Googling, it's worth it. She is famous for her mission to empower, connect, and promote the success of women optometrists. She uses her unique, practical, and down to earth approach to communicate the importance of becoming the CEO of you so you can create the life you want and deserve. Dr. Justin earned her degree of optometry from New England College of Optometry. She's the founder and CEO of Millennium Eye Center in Orlando, Florida, where she's been practicing for over 15 years. In 2019, Eye Care Business Game Changer was the award given to her. A 2020 graduate of Goldman Sachs award has also been given to her, and she is a recipient of the Thea Award of Excellence for Mentoring. She's the creator of the CEO of You Leadership Development Academy, featured in Women in Optometry magazine, Optometry Times, and Defocus Media. Yes, she's definitely famous. And she's the founder of OptometryDivas, the country's premier professional network of women optometrists who are determined, have integrity, are vibrant, assertive, and self-aware. In addition to being an entrepreneur, this is not enough. Trust me, I have more for her. She's a speaker, author, singer. She released her debut Christmas album titled The Spirit of Christmas. She's married to James Justin, her high school sweetheart. I will like to know a little more about that love story too. And she has three boys. Oh my God, you are amazing. Along with that, she enjoys reading, playing, and spending time with her family, and not to forget her love for shopping for shoes. With all that, a very warm welcome and thank you so much for joining on this podcast.
Wow, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you today with Nerdy Optometrist.
Thank you, thank you. So I have to say, I do call you a diva, but you're also a true nerd with all that you have done. You have proved that you are a nerd yourself. But I'm happy that you're making it cool as what our mission is as well.
Right, you can be cool as a nerd, right? That's all
Absolutely.
good.
That's all I believe in. So we're going to go before we dive into all that you have done, and I don't think one episode will be able to cover up everything that you have done so far. But I want to go like really, really from the beginning. How did you bump into the profession of optometry? Was it planned or was it a beautiful accident?
It was a beautiful accident, actually. I grew up always having 2010 vision. I've always seen really well. And in the family that I grew up in, you didn't really go to doctors unless you were sick. So if there was nothing wrong with you, you didn't go to the doctor. So I never went to an optometrist at all myself. And until I had a friend who was having some vision problems. And I may and may not have had some romantic interest in this friend at that time. And it was something really interesting for me because we were both around the time where we were getting driver's licenses and getting ready to drive, and he could not get his driver's license because there was some vision issue that he had. And so going to the doctors, he had a local optometrist that he was visiting. He was diagnosed with Best's disease. And I was introduced to this world of low vision, wherein you're not totally blind or you have some functional vision, about 2200. So you can see, it's just blurry, right? So it's not as clear as you or I could see. However, it can't be helped with glasses or contacts. And that kind of blew my mind because in my mind, I thought you either could see or you used glasses or contacts to see, or you were blind and had to use a cane. I had no idea that there was a whole array of people who were somewhat in between. And that's what really started me looking into, hmm, this could be an interesting career. And it was around the time I was getting ready to, like, my junior year in college. So it was time to start deciding exactly where am I going. And that's what led me into optometry school, really trying to understand what was happening with this person who shall remain nameless for the next few seconds.
I am so intrigued to ask the name, but I'll let it be. But I'm glad that because of whatever reason, you were bumped into the optometry field, and you were introduced to the world of optometry, because without you, who would have had optometry divas? So I am so excited about it. So thank you to that person who actually.
Well, it's a really interesting story because, um, you know, that eventually, and I'm speaking about this, and Ukti kind of alluded to this earlier, but eventually I did marry this person, and we've been married for 24 years. When you have to stop and think about it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's been a long time. Yeah, is that older than you? Oh my goodness, are you like younger than that? So, but it's a beautiful story, and what really I like about it, what it allowed me to do in my practice was my ability to relate to patients. So I do understand from the perspective of someone who's able to see very clearly what the value of good vision can be, what that does when you're able to see that clear. But I also understand the challenges of not being able to see that clear. So I was really well positioned to empathize with my patients when they came in because I knew firsthand what that was like, and my goal was to help them to get as close as what I could see as much as possible.
That's fantastic. And I have to say, like, people who do have, it's not that others don't, but people who, if you have a personal story, you root for that profession a lot more. You connect, you go above and beyond to help. And I think that's what reflects every day in your work. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah, that is my promise. It's our promise to our patients. We're dedicated to help them see 2024 life is what we want to do at Millennium Eye Center. And our office is to help our patients see 2020 for as long as we can because I know it's not just about a pair of glasses. It's not just about contact lenses. It's about your life. It's about how
Absolutely.
life can be, the quality of your life. It's about being able to drive from one place to another. It's about the difference between hitting someone or not hitting the person because you can see them. You know what I mean? So it's about life. It is so important. I can talk every day about the value of what we do as optometrists and the difference that it makes. I can't imagine not being able to see. I'm pretty sure every person who's listening to this would probably feel the same way. Not being able to see is awful. And that's what we do every day. We help people see.
Absolutely. I think sometimes we might take it for granted because you can see and you think, hey, majority of my patients are seeing 2020. You know what? I'm fine. But if you start looking into those challenging cases, and the minute you put, say, whether it's glasses, whether it's contact lenses, whether it's correction for the first time, making the patient realize that this could be what you would have been seeing for last 10 years, but you didn't do just because you didn't have a pair of glasses, or trying to break that stigma around say, wearing glasses. That is one of the challenge that we face every day. These
Yeah.
are small things which sometimes patients do take for granted, but we know what we are bringing onto the table. So absolutely love what we all do as a profession. Now, that's not just one incident that led you to, being optometrist. I know another story where you actually moved from Boston to Florida, where you were alone. You were trying to find people who you can relate to. And that's where you started something which is super interesting and like really known across United States today, Optometry Diva. But it all started with, hey, I need people I can talk to, who can relate to me, some professional inner circle where we can mentor, we can discuss. That's my research and some digging that I did. Tell me more about it.
I went to school in the New England College of Optometry, so that's in Boston, and I grew up in New Jersey. So when I got to my last year of optometry school, I discovered we had a little surprise. There was a bun in the oven that was coming, surprising to all of us. Girl, I could tell you about this story, how this happened. It's just really, really interesting. I didn't know people could get pregnant if you were on birth control, but apparently it happened to a very small percent of people. So surprisingly, we were like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm having a baby. And I was very nervous. My older sister had already had children, and I wanted to be close to someone who had children already, and she lived in Florida. So that was going to be where we moved to because I felt like, I'm going to hold the baby like this. Like, what do I do with this thing? And I need someone to help me and show me what to do. And that's how we came to down here in Florida and in Orlando. When I came down here, I since I did not go to Nova, I didn't know much of my colleagues down here because I went to a different school. And having a new baby, and I'm kind of going over the years here, having two more babies, and so three babies now, and getting involved in my practice. I started my practice in October 15, 2006. That's the day we opened. That was kind of our grand first day seeing patients. And I had my third baby October 17, 2007. So it was like a day, a year later, I had a third baby. So it was really a crazy time, and there was a lot going on, and I was really working hard in the practice. But I just always felt somewhat alone and isolated. I would go to my, meetings that are in my community, and they've always been great. And I just felt that I wish there was a way I could connect with the ladies that are part of the group where we can kind of get to know each other. I wonder if there was a place where we all felt safe, where we can talk about things like nannies, where we could talk about things like maybe a housekeeper, where we can talk about like what school do you send your kids to, what are some of the challenges you have. What if there was a place where we could meet together and connect with one another at that level and still fulfill our needs as professionals and get education? What if there was such a place? And I started looking and I asked around if there was something like that in my community, and there wasn't really anything like that at that time. So I had the idea, what if we did create that? So I invited some of the ladies in town. I sent out an email and said, I would love to connect with you guys, get to know you. I am having an event in my office. It's just gonna be a hangout. You can come. I will feed you because there will be food, but there's no food. Nobody's coming. So there will be food. Come on over. And I sent out the email to over like 150 people that I had the email list to. That's a whole other story. And then all of four people came, which was great. And so we kind of got to talking. And I told them, we're meeting here tonight really for the first time because we've never had the opportunity to talk and to connect. And what if we had something like this where we could do this more regularly? And that's how the idea started. And we started meeting, and we didn't really have a formal name. It wasn't anything formal. It was just something we were doing just because I wanted to connect with the people and the community. And then we started doing some like Facebook posts. We had an event, we took pictures and things like that. And some of the colleagues in other areas started reaching out to me on social media. What is this thing? What are you guys
Yeah,
doing down
they
here? This
started
looks like so
feeling.
much
They,
fun.
did they have this whole FOMO thing that people talk about, like feeling of left out? Like, hey, what are they doing? Why am I not invited? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, these ladies are having too much fun. I need to know what is this about.
It was fun, and that was the goal. We wanted to create a fun environment where we can learn, but most importantly, where we feel safe amongst each other's company. And that's really important to us, creating that safe space, where we can come. And we do talk about all kinds of things when we have our meetings, just because it's a safe space. But we also get education, we get CEs, but we have fun, we eat chocolate, we wear red shoes, we do all
Oh,
kinds of
we're
stuff.
going to talk about that. We're going to talk. I'm going to come to that. I
So
have
that's
so
how we
many
got
questions.
started.
So I actually want to highlight one thing, which is something which I am a firm believer of. I actually also did a segment of the importance of reaching out to people. You mentioned in a very passing comment, like, hey, you know what? I sent out email to 150 people, or but that is an effort you did. You went out, you reached, you put yourself out there, and that four people that came in means a lot. They are the people who really want to connect. It's not that you're expecting 100 people to come in. That would be
Oh,
great, but you know
yes.
that's not realistic. But the four
No.
people who came in, there is some connection, there's some reason. So always I highly encourage everybody that just reach out, just send one message of compliment, one message that I want to know more about you, not always expecting something in return, because we usually do that when I'm fine looking for a job, an internship, or like it's always a trading process that if I need something, I'll reach out to you. If I don't, who cares? Who are you? But that's not how relationships are built. And so it's more about just reach out to know the person. Opportunities and collaborations and new things, just a lot of things can happen over a cup of coffee for sure.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I actually want to know, you started this as a general conversation and it went into optometry diva. Who gave that name and like why that name? It's such a powerful word.
So when the time came for us to, this was developing into something bigger than me. And it wasn't just um, a hangout anymore. This was growing into something else. The time came where we needed to identify, give this movement an identity. And one of the best ways you give identity is by having a name. So the name kind of tells you what it stands for. And the name Optometry Divas came to me because Divas is an acronym, actually. It
Oh,
stands for determined, integrity, vibrant, assertive, and self aware. I looked around and thought about myself, my challenges in my practice, my challenges in my life. What are some of the areas I need to grow in? And those values are things that I wanted to aspire to become more determined, have more integrity, have a more vibrant personality, because it's so much better when we're hanging around, we're laughing, we're having fun, and that's just boring, So, and how can I be more assertive and stand up for myself, stand up for my family, stand up for my children? And how can I be more self aware so that I know how my actions affect those around me and affect me? Where do I fit in this world? Where are my boundaries? So, these are the concepts that created the word divas. And, the divas have a lot of connotations with it. It depends what your experience have been. Some people don't like the word divas, and some people have told me personally that they feel it is unprofessional. But then at the same time, generally, when someone is considered a diva, it's usually because they're very, very assertive and they know what they want and they know what they don't want. A lot of times they may have attitude, and I don't necessarily agree with that. However, I think when someone is very strong about who they are and they know very much what they want and they don't want, when they talk to us, we may feel intimidated by that and look at them like, oh my God, she's such a diva. So, in a sense, I do want us to have that kind of stance where I know what I want, I know my value, I know what I can do, I know what I cannot do. So I don't need somebody else to tell me what who I am, what I can do, what I cannot do. That's why I'm determined. That's why I'm assertive. That's why I'm self-aware. So that's where the whole concept of optometry divas come from. Is as women, as optometrists, I believe in the time that we're living in order for us to push and elevate our profession, we need to have those qualities.
Absolutely. It's so funny like that, you mentioned that there could be some negativity or like, people might not like it because in my mind, diva is something which is like celebrated, something that you aspire to be like, that's my first impression of the word diva. Probably it's my Indian roots. I'm not sure, but that's how I perceived it. I'm like, a star is kind of like, oh, she's a diva or she's someone I would aspire to be. So I'm like, this is so cool. It just the minute I say I'm an optometry diva, it automatically puts me a step up. I'm
Yeah.
like, I know who I am. I'm saying this. It's already putting that positive spin into my confidence, into me presenting myself. That was my perception of it, and I was amazed with that word. So that's how I took it. I have to say. Another
Good.
thing that you say is like become CEO of their life, of your life. That again is a very strong and a powerful word, and many women especially, they might feel that is too much to ask for, or oh my god, I don't think so, I deserve it, or I think I can do it, but am I good enough? We are always surrounded with self-doubt and guilt,
Mhm.
and we're more diplomatic, probably we are engineered in that way, I don't know, but it always comes with those questions. How did you come up with that uh, idea as well, like CEO of your life, you own it, you deserve it, you can ask for it?
So my life story, I've kind of talked to you a little bit about my husband, how we met, and how that kind of led me to into optometry. But my life story, my childhood wasn't one that it's not a pretty story. It's a story of trauma, tragedy, loss, just really, not so good. It wasn't 100% bad, but there's a lot of darkness involved in it. I am originally from the beautiful island of Haiti, and I grew up in, the country where I grew up. There was a lot of poverty, and my parents never finished third grade, so we have a story there in my background. So growing up and becoming an adult, there were a lot of challenges I had to address from my life, from my past. Things like self-doubt, everything that comes from experiencing trauma and loss and tragedy in your life, those things do affect you, and they create certain belief systems that guide your life. It kind of becomes like an operating system of a computer. It's automatic. And once those beliefs have been created, you just kind of go through life following those, not knowing that it's not necessarily that way. So there was a time in my life where I needed to get some help. I needed to get some counseling. And in doing that time, I realized that there was no one who was going to change my life. If there was ever going to be any change, that had to come from me. So the first saying I wrote in my wall, I put it in my wall, I put it in my mirror, I put it in my car rearview mirror. It was, I have the power to change my life. So I wrote that everywhere, and I put it everywhere that I could see. As soon as I woke up, that's what I saw. And for 2 years straight, I saw that every single day, multiple times, because I did not feel that I had that power to change my life. So being reading that was reprogramming my thinking so that I could begin to see that. And I realized the way that was going to be, I had to take charge of my life. So I had a business. I did understand the concept of being a CEO of a company, but then I realized we ourselves. We are an organization, right? We have so many different parts of our lives. We're moms, we're we're dads, we're moms, we're sisters, we're wives, we're doctors. And these are all compartments of our lives. And those compartments need a leader. They need a CEO. And that's when the thought came to me, I need to become the CEO of my life if I wanted to create certain changes. And that's where the idea of becoming the CEO of you come from. And it really does merge with the optometry divas concept that you develop these values, to be determined, to be vibrant, to be assertive, to be self-aware. And you have those so you can position yourself in the driver's seat of your life. I am not talking about seeing yourself more than anybody else. I'm talking about deciding this is my life, this is my gift that I have been given. What am I going to do with that? Instead of letting the situations and circumstances determine what I do, I wanted to reverse it. And to do that, I needed to be the CEO. And that's where that concept comes from.
That's such an inspirational story, I have to say it. The reason, it's not just because I'm interviewing you I have to praise you. I genuinely believe in what you said, because again you said it in a very simple manner, that hey, you know what, I was trying to uh, be assertive, putting those notes, reading it every single day for 2 years. It would have not been easy. It has its own struggles. There would be tons and tons of moments of self-doubt, of guilt, of not sure that am I even in the right direction. But to believe that, hey, if anybody can make a difference, it's me, it's myself. And I'm sure there are many, many moments in every, not just women, even in like men's life,
Oh, yeah.
everybody goes through this, even as a child, even as a parent, like whoever you take. We go through these situations or moments of self-doubt. We feel, oh, everything is like over, my life is done, I'm not going anywhere. I, I had that moment myself. I'm like, oh my God, I'm good for nothing. I would go to that extreme. Should I start working in like a grocery store? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It went from there to finding your space here. So you absolutely have to start believing in yourself. And I think those positive affirmations constantly, it has helped me as well. And I think that's a great way to start. And you building something around it to help others talks a lot about your beliefs and your values. So I thank you for developing these kind of group which actually can uh, relate to people, which has this open comfort space where you can talk about your shortcomings, you can talk about your flaws, you can talk about being human. That
Yeah.
yeah, that's the bottom line. We are always scared about talking the bad side of it, about the failures, about the flaws, about the uh, things that didn't work out. We always see the beautiful side outside, but we don't see when people cry. And if I have a space where I can go in and cry, that's what is amazing. So thank you so much for having this together for every optometry women out there. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I mean, I honestly, I am so honored to have these women in my life, and every single one of them inspires me every day. I learn, like I'm listening to you, I'm listening to your story. It's rather moving to hear how you decided, well, I may not be able to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and pursue this, not getting bitter, not getting angry, not feeling that you're entitled to a particular thing just because,
Yeah.
but actually making that internal decision, what can I do? That's very inspiring. And thank you for sharing your story because I learned so much by listening to you. I feel that I learn more from everybody that I come in contact with, and as much as I'm sharing with them. And I'm so fortunate to have all these women in my life to help go through this journey because we shouldn't have to do it alone. We should do it together. I wouldn't say I'm in my life where I'm in the point where I am 100% confident, where I have everything figured out, where I don't get moment where I'm doubtful. I still get those. But the difference is I can call you and say, girl, I'm going through that again. And then we can talk about it. And you can say, you got this. You can do this. Just kind of hang in there. That's what I'm talking about. Being able to help one another when we get to those places. Last night, we have the meeting going on right now in Optometry Diva. It's called Chocolate Tasting. And the whole meeting really is about eating chocolate while we're talking and developing meaningful relationship. So that's the whole concept behind the meeting. And I mean, if you're gonna build relationship, why not do it over chocolate? That's like the
Yes.
best thing, right? You just gotta do that. And but we talked about it last night. How important that is, and the benefits you get just by building relationship, by being around people. It increases your life expectancy. It increases cognitive abilities. It reduces heart disease. I mean, it was crazy all the benefits that we get just by connecting with one another. So we need one another, and I'm very fortunate to have so many people alongside me in the journey.
I have to say it's surprising at times when you say, hey, you know what, even I have moments of self-doubt, but I look at you like, you know what, she's got it all. But I'm glad to know that, everybody goes through like, no, nobody has it all. There's nothing all. It's all about let's get it together versus, I have it all or you have it all. And I love it. Talking about your amazing theme events, you have a red shoe event, you have a chocolate tasting, you have like theme getaways along with learning and CEO co-approved like education like how do you plan these? And like these are so much fun. People who have not checked out their page, do see the photographs. They have like color coordination, they have themes. Oh my god, you'll feel jealous, I'm telling you this outright. But tell me
You
about like
gotta, you gotta come. So we're gonna have to do one in San Francisco just for
yes,
that.
absolutely.
It really, like I said, it started with just I love putting together events. That's always been something I've always loved to do. I mean, I've been doing it since I was 10 years old. I have been doing this for a long time. And it's kind of an opportunity for me to let my right brain take over, right? I went to school and became a doctor, so that's very left brain, very
Yeah.
methodical. So I have that too. But I also have this creative side, right? I'm a singer, and so I like that creativity and doing that. And then the event, it allows me to let my brain go crazy and try different things. And over the years, before we became Optometry Divas, we were doing this for about 3 years before it became an actual thing. And I tried different type of activities and different things, and I looked at the ones that had the most response, that
Mhm.
people really enjoyed and seemed to really have a good foundation. And that's how we came with those 4 themed local events. So Optometry Divas does 5 events per year. We do our chocolate tasting, which happens between February and March. Then we do our red shoe event, which is around May. And then we do our annual retreat. This year is going to be our second annual retreat, and it's called Discover the Magic. So our retreats as well have a theme.
Yeah.
And then we do the Think Pink in October and the Winter Wonderland. So all of these events have a specific theme, and every one of those theme is designed to do what we promise to do to empower, connect, and promote your success. So we do have education that is provided in our meetings. A lot of them are CEs. Some of them are not CEs, but it's still something that will educate you either as a professional or just in your personal life. There's a lot of finance that we talk about. So anything that's going to help you overall the whole person succeed. And then the themes, we come up with the themes to kind of create the connection that we want to, creating that atmosphere of safety, of fun and relaxation. Do you know how busy we get? Every day we're going from seeing patients to picking up our kids to cooking dinner to do, and then at the end we're doing webinars and things like that. By the time we go to bed, we're so exhausted because we've done so much, so much, so much every day. These meetings are designed to help us stop and relax. Right now, you're not a mom, you're not a wife. You're just the girl, and you're just here to have a good time. And we're here to connect. This is girls' night out. Like, we're just here together. And then we're relaxing. We're having a good time. We're having fun. Last night, we did a game called Who's My Match? and every single person had a random name. So my name, for example, was Clyde, and I had to find my Bonnie.
Uh,
So, and then there were, somebody else was peanut butter, and they had to find their jelly. So we had to walk around and ask questions to other people. We couldn't ask them if they're jelly. We had to think of another way to ask them to try to find our match. So we're all talking, and everybody's like, well, "Who are you?" So I was walking around saying, "Is anybody a criminal? Is there a criminal?" That's how I found my match, right? But then it gives you the opportunity to have fun, to relax, and you get to know people and you see other sides of them that you don't see typically in regular professional meetings. So I love it. And we have catered every single theme of the events to do something like that. And I'm really, really excited about our Discover the Magic event that we're doing this year, our national conference. That one is gonna be off the chain. As maybe I don't know if they say that anymore because my son is teaching me new words and new things they say. Every now and then I say something, he says, "No, we don't say that anymore." But it's gonna be great.
I have seen the images, and when we talk about games, to make this fun, I think this is a perfect transition to go into my game segment, where because even I believe it is very important to be inspired to talk about nerdy things, but also have fun to know
Mhm.
you a little more. So we're going
Sure.
to directly dive into my game segment, which is a simple rapid fire to know you a little more. So,
Okay.
are you ready?
Oh, sure.
Wonderful. So tell me about your favorite destination.
To go to Fiji.
Awesome. Your favorite cuisine.
Cuisine, I'd have to say, well, that's a tough one because I like so many different things. I'd have to say it would be lamb, but I have to cook it.
You have to cook it. Okay. Your favorite movie of all time.
Oh my gosh. Oh, why would you ask me that question? I have
Come
like
on,
200 favorites. Okay.
it's a rapid fire.
One of my favorite, oh, the rapid fire. True Lies.
All right, I'll take that. If you had a superpower, what would that power be?
That power would have to be flying,
Flying, and where would you go? Fiji?
probably Fiji, and visit the entire world. That's what I would do. I'd just fly everywhere.
That's wonderful. If you could interview someone, dead or alive, it could be anyone, who would that be, and what would the question be?
Ah, wow. If I could interview someone, I'd start with so many lists run into my mind. I would want to interview my great great grandmother.
Mhm.
I never met her. Obviously, she was dead before I was born, but I would want to know what her life was like to give me a sense of where I come from.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. If we were to write an autobiography about your journey, what would you like the title to be?
I would like it to be called Uninhibited Desire.
Wonderful. And one thing that you would like to add or change in optometry, what would that be?
We deserve to get paid more for what we do.
Awesome. With that, that's the end of our rapid fire questions. It was so much fun. You did really well. This
I
has
have
been
to think
such
about
an
that.
amazing episode. I have to say, I have had so much fun. But before I let you go, I would like to ask you one final takeaway message for all my listeners.
The final takeaway message I would say, I teach this all the time with the CEO of You concept is, to be able to take control of your life, you need to have, most importantly, the right mindset. That is the foundation for everything. It doesn't make things perfect, but it does put you in the right path. And to do that, you really need five things, right? To create the right mindset, I believe you need five things. First, you need to know what your core beliefs are. What are those things you believe, whether they're accurate or not? They may be limiting beliefs. It's really, really irrelevant. You need to know what they are, where they come from, and why you believe them, and are they still relevant? It may not be true anymore. And then you need to know what are your core values. Your core values are the things that are important to you, important in your life. They help you determine what to say yes to and what to say no too. I arrange my schedule based on the things that are important to me. And then you need a mission, a vision, and a purpose for your life. So you can apply this either to your life personally or your practice. Those five things help you create the right mindset for whatever it is you want to accomplish. And then to really reach the success you want, in addition to the right mindset, you need the right team and you need the right strategy.
I am so overwhelmed with all that you said. I loved it because we usually relate to this like mission and vision and things when it's about your company or your practice. That's why you'll sit and write. We don't think about starting with your own life first because that is what will drive everything. And talking about right mindset is so important. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, your right mindset will always land you in the right place, in the right position. So I loved this discussion. Thank you once again for your time, for sharing this amazing, crazy stories with me. I'll be dropping information about Optometry Divas in the description, so do check it out. And thank you once again for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you and
Thank you
having you on the
so
episode.
much for having me. I had a blast. I am so proud of you, and you are an inspiration to me for what you're doing. Just keep doing it. I'll definitely be sharing anything you send my way just because I truly believe in what you're doing, and it's so inspirational. The story you shared, your story will also empower and help other people.
Thank you. Thank you. Means a lot coming from you. Trust me.